Thank you. Thank you. Good morning, High at Nine News viewers. Yaro Kubrin here. My article today on this Monday is about cannabis users appearing to rely less on conventional sleep aids. So we had a lot of bad news today. I figured I would give us a little shot of optimism. So, most people who reported using cannabis to get a good night's rest in a recent study have quit using over the counter or prescription sleep aids altogether. More than 80% of the 1,255 cannabis users surveyed for the Washington State University led analysis reported no longer using over the counter or prescription sleep aids such as melatonin and benzodiazepines. Instead, they had a strong preference for inhaling high THC cannabis by smoking joints or vaporizing flower, two fast acting methods that previous research has shown can help with difficulty falling asleep. Interestingly, around half the people in the study also specifically reported using cannabis strains containing CBD and other the terpene, mycene, and an aromatic plant compound found in hops, basil, and other plants in addition to cannabis. Quote, one of the findings that surprised me was the fact that people are seeking the terpene in cannabis to assist with sleep, said Carrie Cutler, senior author of the study and associate professor of psychology at WSU. Quote, there is some evidence in the scientific literature to support that mycene may help promote sleep, so cannabis users seem to have figured that out on their own. For the study published in the journal Exploration of Medicine, Cutler and a psychology doctoral student, Amanda Stuber, analyzed self-report data from individuals on their usage of cannabis and other sleep aids or no sleep aids and what effects they perceive the different products to have. Data for the study were provided by Strain Prints, a Canadian-based medical technology company. Participants reported varying morning outcomes and side effects. Cannabis users more commonly reported feeling refreshed, focused, and better able to function in the morning after using cannabis, along with experiencing fewer headaches and less nausea compared with when they were using traditional sleep aids. However, cannabis users also reported feeling sleepier as well as more anxious and irritable in the morning after using cannabis compared to other sleep aids. They were also more likely to report experiencing dry mouth and red eyes after using cannabis. That's news, my friend. You did a study for that. I could have just told you. In general, the use of cannabis for sleeping related issues was perceived as more advantageous than over the counter medications or prescription sleep aids, Cutler said. Unlike long acting sedatives and alcohol, cannabis was not associated with a hangover effect, although individuals reported some lingering effects such as sleepiness and changes in mood. Researchers also found that more than 60% of the study participants reported getting the recommended 6 to 8 hours of sleep when using cannabis alone. Less than 20% of the sample reported getting 6 to 8 hours of sleep while using a prescription or over the counter sleep aid or cannabis combined with a sleep aid. Additionally, 33.8% of the participants reported using cannabis edibles to help them sleep, and 14% opted for capsules containing THC. These alternatives are known for their longer lasting effects, but were commonly less chosen, possibly due to the need for quicker relief when falling asleep. While most of the findings came out in favor of cannabis use for sleep, the study has its limitations. There was a strong selection bias for people who were already using cannabis because they perceive it to be beneficial. Not everyone is going to find that cannabis helps with their sleep, or future research needs to employ more objective sleep measures to provide a more comprehensive understanding of the effects of cannabis for sleep, she said. Nonetheless, or nevertheless, I don't even know what the difference is. Cutler and Stuber hope that the study will provide some valuable insights for healthcare professionals who work with cannabis users and individuals seeking alternative solutions for sleep related problems. The researchers also support the use of future clinical trials to validate the efficacy of the terpenes and other isolated compounds in cannabis for sleep that don't have the intoxicating effects of THC. This is Yarrow Kubrin for High at 9 News, Monday morning. What do you guys think?
Man,
This is awesome. Cannabis is non-addictive, really non-attenuating, and once you find your dose that works for you, it's great, and you won't wake up with a groggy cannabis.
I
For
think
me, it's about 5 milligrams of a THC CBD 1-to-1 is just terrific.
I feel like a lot of those people that wake
Yeah,
up with what I would call a weed over is mostly comes from edibles, edible consumption, or over usage of edible consumption.
overusage.
Yeah.
Yeah, definite overusage. And I just want to say that, in the world of reasons why new consumers are coming over to use cannabis, it's most of the time starts with sleep.
Mm-hmm.
They hear that this is going to be the key for sleeping. And for many, it is. There's so many people that are able to get off of a formal prescription and get over to this. It's just more this. this research study to me is just something, of course, that all of us already knew. So it's old news, but it's nice to see it documented and to live on, and be available for people to access online and feel more confident in their own decision.
And they did. I felt like at least how you presented it, Yarrow. They did make a little bit of fun of the obvious things that they found, which of course, all cannabis people know. You're going to get a little bit of red eyes or whatnot, some little cotton mouth and whatnot. But they seem like they made it wholeheartedly and not from a prohibitionist type of thing. As like, oh my God, this is the worst thing that could ever happen to you.
What I really appreciated was when we think about cannabis as medicine, there's this tendency to go to the extreme and to think about somebody with cancer who's going through chemo or hospice and doesn't have a long
Mm-hmm.
time to live. But and then we go to cannabis as wellness, and you've got people who are like, oh, I take 2 hits before I go to the gym and work out, or I puff and paint. But I think there's also that middle ground there where it's like it is a wellness medicine sort of. It has the ability to help people reach a better level of homeostasis for certain ailments and issues. And to Mandy's point, this isn't this is a place where the Canna Curious come in. I mean, I talked to a lot of my mom's friends, and they are not going to smoke cannabis, but a little gummy before sleep has been very helpful for them. And there's an entire I would tend to say older set of the population that doesn't even see themselves as cannabis users. I went out to Michigan last month. This guy's like, I don't, he's a guy in the cannabis industry who started bragging about how they didn't use cannabis. But then he started talking about how him and his wife eat the gummies before they go to bed and they use it as a sleeping aid. And I was like, oh, okay, so you don't identify as a cannabis user, but you still are using the beneficial effects of consuming edibles before you go to sleep. Right on.
That's pretty awesome. That is pretty awesome.